I can think of no one better to help us feel grounded and centered during the busy holiday and end of year season. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Dena Samuels.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Dakota. Thanks, Gab, for your help. I'm very excited to be here. Welcome everyone to Creating Calm Through the Holidays. I know it's typically a very stressful time, and if you're here, it potentially means that you're really looking for some calm within the storm that is the end of December. Um, so I welcome you. My pronouns are she and her. So I just wanted to say that as well, and we'll get started. I'm going to invite you, please, to have something to write on and with so that we can do some journaling along the way. So it preferably not what you're looking on whatever screen you're using right now. It could be paper and pen. It could be another digital device. Whatever works for you is great. Yeah. So I'm just going to give a second for you to get a hold of something, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with a mindful pause. And mindfulness obviously is the core of the work that I do. Mindful leadership is really what I focus on. And so a mindful pause, I actually teach as a leadership skill because it's something that you can do any time of day. And it actually may not change what's happening around you, but it actually changes you in terms of how you are responding instead of potentially reacting to whatever's going on around you. So even if you're in the midst of a meeting, taking that mindful pause is super helpful. So we'll start with that now, and I'm just going to invite you to take a deep inhale with me. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring your shoulders back and down and just feel yourself a little more grounded in the space that you're in. And we'll do more of this later, but I just wanted to start off to sort of bring your focus into this space. We know that we appreciate that you're here when there's a million other things going on in everyone's life right now. But just this mindful pause helps to center us into this space so that you can pay attention and make this time that we're together worth your while. So, here are some of the reasons that you might be feeling a little stressed this time of year. The fact that there's so much going on. So, we've got that overload, both cognitive, so the mental stimulation, the emotional stimulation of the holiday season. Maybe you've got end of year deadlines or other kinds of pressures or expectations in your life, either from family or from friends or coworkers or your boss or the owner of the company that you work in, whatever. Or maybe it's just you putting the pressure on yourself thinking, oh, I really needed to get this done by the end of 2025, and I better hurry up and do it. There's nothing wrong with that, but the question here is how much stress, how much pressure are you under either from external sources or from internal sources? So just be thinking about that without any judgment here, just noticing, oh, yeah, I didn't even realize I was putting that pressure on myself. These are all really helpful, the old patterns to notice those old patterns that we've had in the past. When we pay mindful attention to those moments and those experiences, we can do something about them. So we're not feeling like we're stuck in that holiday overload. Yeah. So here's the good news is that it's not a personal flaw to feel stress right now, right? There's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling stressed right now. It's literally your body saying, okay, I am, feeling my nervous system is activated, my sympathetic nervous system is activated. You might even be going in moments, you might even be going to fight, flight, or freeze, right? And it may be, again, just thinking about all that is going on, or it may be other people's feelings of stress that I'm saying are contagious, right? So when other people say, "Ooh, I've got to get this done," then all of a sudden you start thinking of your own to-do list and you start getting anxious. So I'm assuming right now that just talking about this stuff has probably activated your nervous system to some degree. So you may have gotten on this webinar today wanting to detox or de-escalate, right? And we're going to absolutely do that. But I wanted to just touch on how our nervous system works. We only need to talk about something that is anxiety producing, and pretty soon our sympathetic nervous system is activated. So I just want, I'm again just checking in with your body and notice where it is right now. And the point of this too is that it's not going to go away. Like to create calm, you need that practice. Like you need to be intentional about it. It's not just going to happen. So even pausing to take the breath that we took at the beginning, right, can actually calm us down, but that's intentional. Oh, I'm going to take a breath now. I'm going to take an intentional breath. Doesn't even matter just how long it is. You don't have to go and do a 30-minute meditation or anything like that. In the moment, you can actually create your own personal calm. Yeah. So in to do that, we're actually going to do that together. So I'm going to invite you now to settle into the space that you're in. And as you do so, again, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, shoulders come back and down. And the reason that we bring the shoulders back and down is to open up the heart space just a little bit. I'm going to invite you to focus for a moment just on your belly and just notice if there's tension in your belly. And then I'm going to invite you, if it feels comfortable to you, to close your eyes or just gently gaze down. Not a requirement, but it can help us to ground and focus inward, which is during this guided meditation would be helpful. So I'm going to invite you once again, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, I'm going to invite you to focus on what might be the best case scenario for your holiday season. Whether your holidays have already started like mine has, or whether it's continuing throughout the next couple of weeks. Notice what comes up when you think, what's the best case scenario? And I'm going to invite you to maybe create an environment. Maybe you're sitting in your living room or someplace that feels pretty cozy to you. And I'm going to invite you to just look around with your mind's eye. Imagine yourself sitting in a really cozy space, either in your home or someone else's home, maybe where you're going to spend the holidays, and but a place that you can feel like yourself, like really tuned in and aligned with your best and highest self. And breathe into that. Maybe it's the place you're in your favorite chair or in your bed or wherever else feels cozy to you. And I'm going to invite you to just tune into the feeling of calmness that comes when you're in what we want to call a safe inner space. Where do you feel that inner calm, that inner coziness? Where do you feel that in your body? You might feel that in your head. You might feel it in your heart. You might feel it in your belly. Maybe you feel it in your toes. Just do a quick body scan and just notice, how does it feel when I'm in a space that feels completely calm to me? Something that feels relatively safe, some place that feels like everything's okay and everything's going to be okay. And really tapping into the feeling, the sensations in your body when you trust that calmness. And from that space, I'm going to invite you to ask yourself the question, how do I want to feel during this holiday season? And just notice what arises, if anything. Maybe a phrase came to you or a word came to you, or maybe a sensation came to you. And I'm going to invite you to just tap into that feeling, that word, that phrase, whatever came up for you. Maybe you came up with joyful or peaceful or calm or confident. Maybe it's powerful or empowered. Just notice what resonates for you. And then I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in, knowing that feeling, whatever it is that came up for you. And then as you exhale, go ahead and flutter your eyes open. And I'm going to invite you to write down either, I'm calling it a journal, but whatever piece of paper and a pen is great, or your phone or whatever you need. And just write down your desired feeling this season. There might be more than one. These are a few on the screen. Whatever came to you is yours. Like that to me, I would choose that over any of these words. But if you wanted some more inspiration, there's some other words here that maybe resonate with you. Go ahead and just write down whichever words feel good to you. Maybe you want to feel all of these things, but I would pick probably the top two or three. And then I would pick maybe one that you can that really feels like, oh, that's the one. And maybe if you're writing, maybe you can circle that word so that that's your word that we're going to focus on for our time today together. Great. And we're going to move forward here. I want to offer this three-step calming blueprint that I created that when I think about how to stay calm throughout the holiday season, I think it takes all of these three things. And so I'm offering them. The first one is grounding. The second one is a mindset shift. And the third is creating boundaries, a boundary pause. So you're reflecting on your boundary or what you're doing or why you're choosing what you're doing, and creating an intention like that has to do with your boundaries. So we're going to move forward here. Are there any questions or anything so far, Dakota or Gab?
Nope, so far so good.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. So the first step is grounding. Some of this you may know, may have heard the word grounding. Maybe you do, you have a grounding practice, but I wanted just to touch on why it's important. So it not only calms you from a physiological standpoint, and when we say physiological, we're talking about your body, we're talking about your nervous system, but it also regulates your emotional state. So it helps with all of that. So grounding helps us feel like we are supported from the earth up, right? The earth is below our feet, below our bodies all the time, and we can count on that, right? So that provides safety to our sympathetic nervous system, right? Grounding also activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part that it tells your brain it's okay to calm down. And so when we do a grounding practice, we feel stable, we feel safe, we feel calm, right? The beautiful part about grounding too is that you can do it when you are in a spike of overwhelm or a spike of, you can feel that fight or flight happening in your body in any moment. Maybe you're triggered by something someone says or a smell or a song, a holiday song or whatever it is, and you start feeling a little nervous or anxious. Just ground yourself. It's a beautiful practice. So I'm just going to share a few with you. The hand to heart breath, putting your hand, one hand on your heart and the other hand over the first hand. And this could be in a grocery store, you could be anywhere. And you can just pause for a second, You can go into the restroom if you need to and do it there. Um, and just take a deep breath in and exhale longer than your inhale. I call that my 10-second vacation is inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 6. Because as we exhale longer than our inhale, it tells our body it's okay, we're safe. It's okay to calm down now. It's okay. It's okay. So exhaling longer than the inhale is important. Another grounding practice is literally just noticing your feet on the floor, or if you're sitting down, your hips on your seat. The points of connection are what we're looking for here. When you notice that your body is connected to the earth, it's also very grounding. Some other things, taking a fresh air break, meaning if you can't get outside for whatever reason, maybe you're in the middle of a work day, if you can even open a window, crack a window, or even just get some fresh air at some point during the day, it actually can calm our nervous system as well. It's a beautiful practice as well, especially if you're in a place where if it's warmer and you want just some cold air on your face, that's also grounding. Another suggestion I have here is journaling for a minute. And that's sort of like a brain dump, dumping what's in your brain. Like these are all the things I'm thinking about right now. It doesn't even have to be like a deep journal of like fullest expression of, your hopes and dreams and all of that. It could literally just be, I've got too much in my brain right now. I just need to throw it on a piece of paper and put it outside of my brain. Just doing that alone is incredibly helpful in terms of clearing. There's a clearing that happens, and that's also can be grounding. And another option is a few minutes of uninterrupted quiet or music, playing some music for a few minutes. Any of these things, getting outside and taking, getting moving through, anything like taking a walk, going for a run, doing any of the things that we think would be a mindful practice that would sort of allow you to shift your physiology. You could even talk about taking a shower, that hydrating, taking a glass of water. All of these things actually help us to tune into our bodies from a physiological standpoint and shift, do something different, knowing that there's so many other grounding practices. These are just a few. The second step, and for the first step, by the way, I'm hoping that you've written some of these down or other things that come to mind so that you have it. This is your step one is your grounding practice, because we'll need that later. Step two is what I'm calling a mindset shift. So this is something that you can do literally on the fly. So you are feeling overwhelmed and we want to reset. We want to shift our mindset, right? Um, the benefit of this, and I'll talk about how to do it in just a moment, but the benefits are that it interrupts our old patterns of going. Like we move through the world typically thinking the same thoughts we thought yesterday, feeling the same emotions we thought yesterday, and those patterns can get us into a rut, especially during the holidays when people are constantly are bringing back patterns. Like if you're in overwhelm, you are likely to rely on old patterns. And those old patterns may not be to your best and highest good right now. So, what we want to do is do something different. So, we want to shift our nervous system, as I've been talking about, and it brings you back to your desired feeling that we talked about earlier. So, that desired feeling I want to feel during the holidays, fill in the blank. So we can do this lots of different ways, but the way I'm going to offer today is an anchoring affirmation. So putting in your journal a statement, and it could be any of these statements, right? The one to start with potentially is this holiday season, I want to feel. And then whatever the emotion or the how you wanted to feel this holiday season that we talked about before that you circled in your journal, put that in this sentence. This holiday season, I want to feel, and then fill in the blank of whatever the word was, word or phrase that you circled earlier. Go ahead and write that in your journal. It will be something we can come back to again and again. And then any of these other sentences, feel free to write down as well. I recommit to my own, and then again, fill in the blank with the item that you circled. However you want to phrase it, this becomes your anchoring mantra or affirmation for the entire holiday season and beyond if you want to keep it, right? It's not just for the holidays. If any of these other ones resonate, I release what isn't mine, I have time, or I don't have to do it all. If any of these feel calming to your nervous system, just reading them now, I choose calm. Any of these or any others that come to you. And then step three is what I'm calling a boundary pause and intention. So the benefit of this, like thinking about our boundaries and where we push our boundaries, that we can actually set boundaries and it's okay, right? When we have boundaries in place that are healthy, it can, again, interrupt that overwhelm. Remembering, oh, I can set a boundary here. Just remembering that you can do that is such a great practice, right? This people pleasing that we get into during the holidays is also contagious. And it's pervasive in this point at this time of the year, right? We don't want to leave this person out, or we don't want to, this person with terrible, really negative, heavy energy. We don't want to leave them out. So we're people pleasing to spend time with them, but we're not honoring our own boundaries of it's fine to connect, but maybe I don't want to spend 3 days with this person. Maybe I want to go out to lunch with them, thinking about where you can set a boundary that will honor what you have set as your intention for the season, right? It'll bring you back to your own center. All of these things keeps you from overcommitting, It protects your energy without feeling guilty because you know that underneath it all, you need to feel safe, you need to feel calm in order to bring your calm presence when you go and do your holiday activities, right? And if you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of holiday activities and you're feeling perhaps lonely or like you're missing out on other things, knowing too, like maybe your intention is to reaffirm your own sense of I am I am awesome even by myself, right? I am awesome and I love myself unconditionally, or I am enough just as I am. Like any of those intentional pieces that are grounding, that are affirming step one, step two, and step three, that you're setting a boundary and an intention for yourself, right? If you set a boundary, you're reorienting towards clarity, purpose, and choice, that you have a choice of how you want what your mindset is going to be. So before you say yes, especially if you're somebody who says yes fairly often because maybe you don't have a lot of practice with the word no. We always hear no is a complete sentence. You don't even need to have a reason why. Um, but maybe ask yourself, and here's a good time to journal also, ask yourself, am I saying yes out of obligation? Meaning I feel like I have to do this, or desire. Is this something I truly want to do? And sometimes we have obligations we can't get out of, and I understand that, especially sometimes when family is concerned. But the idea here is that obligation means we can still set a boundary around that. So, as I said before, rather than spending 3 days, maybe you want to shorten your time. Maybe instead of spending, so time is a factor here that we can sort of deal with an obligation for a fixed amount of time. And then when it gets past that, we feel like it's like our energy is just sinking slowly but surely. It just keeps going down and down the longer we stay. And honoring what your body is telling you is so important. You can in the midst of a outing or a holiday party, you can absolutely say to yourself, you know what? I've had enough. Like, this is good. My body is telling me it's time to go. You can make your excuses and just leave. You've shown your face, you've done what you've needed to do, and then you politely leave, right? That's honoring yourself. That's honoring your own energy. Other questions you can ask is saying yes aligned with my desired holiday. You've already set what your intention is for your desired holiday, right? I want this holiday season, I want to feel fill in the blank. And if that word or if whatever you're saying yes to is not aligned with that feeling, you might want to rethink it. Oh, can I say no here? If I can, I don't even need a reason. If you need to come up with the reason because it feels better socially, feel free to do so, but it's not required. That's the point here. And then imagine what it feels like if you were to say yes to something. Does it feel exciting? I think about, does it give you this feeling in your heart of like an open expansion? Or if saying yes feels contracted, like, oh, it's something I have to do. This is how we notice in our bodies how it feels to say yes or to say no. You can do that with saying no also. Imagine saying no. Does that feel great? Does that give you this feeling of relief and expansion? Okay, that will tell you which direction to go. Your body always knows. Your body always knows. If you get nothing else out of this session today, this webinar today, I would love for you to just tune into and be guided by what your body is telling you. Even just paying attention to what your body is telling you is such a beautiful mindful practice. So here's some intentions you could also say. I connect from my center. not from stress. And when I say my center, I'm talking about when you feel the most aligned, the most empowered, the strongest in your own inner self, right? That I connect from my center. I'm not making decisions from the overwhelm that's happening around me. I'm tuning into and paying attention to what my body, my heart, my energy, my spirit, whatever word fits you right there. I'm paying attention to what my needs are in this moment, not what is happening around me, right? Maybe it's I give myself permission to rest, or I'll pause before saying yes. These are beautiful intentions to set, right? I won't over explain my decisions. I'll leave events when my energy drops. Any of these practices are beautiful, and please feel free to write them all down. And maybe if other ones come up that resonate for you, that you feel like, oh, this would be a really awesome intention for me to set and keep coming back to maybe on a daily basis over the next few weeks or beyond. Okay, so I would love to say that the takeaways for this for everybody is that I think about calm as it's a requirement. Being calm is a requirement for you to really enjoy your life and to enjoy your experience and your interactions with others. Notice the difference between if you come into a space and you're just like frenetic from the holidays and you're bouncing around, whatever, and your energy is, I mean, it's one thing to be excited about being someplace. That's beautiful. But if your nervous system is activated, your sympathetic nervous system is activated and you're feeling anxious, you're not going to show up and you're not going to be able to interact in the best way that you could. And so just to take a deep breath before you do anything, especially the things that we consider to be more challenging, taking that deep breath, hand to heart if you can. If you're in a space where you can't put your hands to your heart, just imagine it in your head and just take a deep breath and see what kind of what anxiety can release from you as you exhale. When we lead with calm, everyone performs better, and those small daily practices that we've been talking about can create lasting change. So just remembering all of that. I want to close today with a little practice, hands to heart if you can. Eyes are closed or gently gazing down. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just say to yourself, I am enough. Inhaling again. And as you exhale, say to yourself, I choose calm. And as you inhale the last time, shoulders come back and down as you exhale. Flutter the eyes open and welcome back. I just want to share a couple programs with that I have a couple things. Just this, my Overcoming Burnout program is a beautiful combination of ways of creating calm really in your life, calming the nervous system. It deals with really finding your superpowers within the gifts that you've been given that you want to use. It teaches how to build consistency, resiliency, and community. If you want more information about the program, please feel free with your phone if you're not on your phone currently, or just go to my website. You can use these QR codes here, or you can go to my website, which is just denasamuels.com, and feel free to check out the program if you like. I'm offering a discount right now. Feel free to reach out to me. Finally, my latest book is called Fast Relief from Anxiety. I have a QR code here if you like, but it's 25 tools to calm your nervous system, which may be helpful. It also might serve as a gift for someone else you know who might need it. And thank you so much for taking the time today and spending it with me. And I wish you beautiful, calm, peaceful, joyful holiday season. Happy New Year, and hope to see you in 2026. Take care.